the back of a postcard, a song that I can sing, but I can try for your and all dreams. They are made up of real things, like shoebox of photographs, sepia tone and loving. Well, love is the answer, at least for most of these questions in my heart. Well, like where do we go, and why are we here, and how come it's so hard? Well, see, it's not always easy, and sometimes this life can be deceiving. But I'll tell you one thing, it's always better when we're together, yeah. Well, it's always better when we're together. Well, look at them stars when we're together, yeah. It's always better when we're together. Da-da-da. It's always better when we're together, yeah. One of these moments just may find their way into my dreams tonight. I'll be under the impression they'll be gone by morning light. It brings no things, no things, but not many we got to do. Oh baby, just me and you, and not many things we gotta do. But one of these moments just may find their way into my day-to-day scene. But I'll be under the impression I'm living somewhere in between. Oh so new, me and you, not many things we've gotta do. Oh, places we need to be, sit beneath that mango tree, yeah. See, it's always better when we're together, yeah. Well, look at them stars and we're together. It's always better when we're together, yeah. It's always better when we're together, yeah. Good morning now. See, na. Well, I believe in their memories. It looks so pretty when I sleep, and when I wake up, you look so pretty sleeping next to me. But baby, there is not enough time. No, there is no song I can sing, no combination of words that I can say. But I'll go ahead and tell you this one thing: we're better together, yeah. Forever together, yeah. We're better when we're together, yeah. So nice to be together, yeah. It's always better when we're together, yeah. Good morning, get up, start your day the multifamily way. We're gonna spend some time and get it going.
From the Multifamily Studios in Scottsdale, Arizona, with Patrick and Carrie Antrim. Live, today in Multifamily.
Wow!
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I mean, we're just kicking off today.
Yes.
We're rocking it.
Live music for you, coming to you live on a Friday morning. What better time to have is
I know,
music
this is
coming to you
amazing.
in your
Listen,
stream,
thanks.
so.
Stephanie's already joining us. She's loving the music. Jeff Rawls, thank you guys so much for tuning in. You might have noticed that we have a musical guest.
Yes, we now have...
But it's more than just, he's more than just a guest.
Yes, musical director for all of what we're doing. We've got documentaries going, we have product launches, we have shows like this. We're coming to you every week with great content, and what we thought, gosh, these TV shows have
Jimmy Fallon
live
has the
performances.
Roots, right? He's got his house band. So, you know, we brought in Chad Rubin Music, which you might remember him from the Multifamily Operations Summit. He and his dad, Chad and Dad, performed for us then, and so we invited him into our studio.
You can catch these guys actually on Amazon. They're in the movies, technically.
I know. He's not
composed,
only a musician,
scored music.
He's a movie star.
Let's say hello to Chad over on the stage. Chad, let's say hello. Hey, Chad.
Chad.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, so audience is loving it. We've got Jeff saying, awesome, Chad Rubin rocks. Stephanie, thank you for that. Good to be with you guys this morning. Listen, music is a big part of your day. Hopefully, if you're on your way to work, you're listening to music or jogging, all those things. We're going to talk a little bit about the importance of music and how it can influence behavior later in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got a lot of great things to talk about. We're talking about the eviction moratorium that's been recently in the news. We'll be talking a little bit about what you can do as a leader with that. Those are some things that are, you know, in many cases out of your control, but what you can do as a leader to move through those types of issues. But gosh, let's talk about what's happening with Multifamily Studios. Here we are.
Listen, hey, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. My name is Carrie Antrim. This is my husband and co-host Patrick Antrim. We come to you live every Friday morning. Well, for us it's morning.
Yes.
If you're in Georgia, it might be afternoon, but from Scottsdale, Arizona. So we're here and we have upgraded our studio, so you might notice a different look.
Yeah, things are growing, and we're excited about what's next. We'll be talking a little bit about what to expect, how you can get involved and start benefiting from some of the things that we're going to be bringing to you. But listen, the world has changed, but for us, we've always been using video to reach an audience. It's exciting, some of the things that we're working on. We have, like I said, we've got Chad Rubin as our musical director. We're going to bring and layer in everything that we do in events, even in our live high-level summits. We've always used music. In fact, when you did the Women's Summit, I think it was like, what is that playlist? How do I get it? And there's actually on Spotify, if you Google, or not Google, if you go onto Spotify and search, Multifamily Women?
I would assume it's Multifamily Women's playlist. Or Summit.
Multifamily
playlist.
Women's Summit. You can actually get the playlist, fun stuff there.
Gosh,
but
I haven't looked at it for a while.
Music is so important to what we're doing, and maybe you've got music on the office, music to motivate your teams, and we'll get reasons to that and how we elicit an emotional response to get people to actually rent apartments, become part of the community, and even as you build and design new ways to think about amenities, you know, instead of just the tennis court, you know, how can you use, instead of landscape, soundscape? So we're going to bring it to a whole new level of how we do things. But listen, hey, this is an event we're producing every week. And hopefully we're bringing it to you. So we've got Jennifer saying hello.
Yeah, we've
cheers.
got Jamin
She's saying
Harkness
cheers.
in the house. Thanks for tuning in, Jamin. Good to see you. See your name at least.
Yes, and even Jeff Rawls saying, thanks for having Roosevelt. Roosevelt sings, moving our audience to tears in many cases.
With the Women's Summit for sure.
And the behavior to actually support child health. That was exciting. But I'm going to tie into what Jeff just commented on, is we're going to be doing concerts where with Chad, we'll be bringing in, he's going to be in charge of all the musical, he's scored movies. He's written songs. He's an amazing artist, winning awards. And we're just so proud to have, had the honor to have him deliver for some of our largest clients in their summits that we've produced. And now he's here with us every week. So we're excited about that. But but more importantly, the concerts. We'll start to be able to do things that, to benefit the great causes that we care about. Absolutely. And maybe that you care about. Absolutely. I'd love to hear in the comments, what are those causes? What are those innovations that we can do to bring, great music and, great impact to communities. So good stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned, we've had Chad play music for other events as well, other than our own. We're producing all kinds of events, both within the multifamily industry and outside. I mean, we're
right. So the exciting part about what we get to do on a day-to-day basis is when you put together and you bring together people to come for impact, come for transformation, they come for some sort of pain in their business, they want to go away. That's the intent of really going to a conference or a learning experience. And so we've always shifted. We've done helicopter rides to hiking, and we've always been around the experience. How do you make somebody feel when they interact with your event? And it's been always different than any other event in the industry strategically because we want to get people that don't go to other events to come to ours.
Right.
But the way we've been able to do that is with that word emotion. It's not just information, facts, data, stats are
details,
uninspiring.
Yeah.
Right? Emotion moved through the heart of, even in movies, the comeback stories, the song lyrics that, why a certain artist passed on a song, but then the other artist made it a hit. There's a lot that's going on there. So we've always used music to layer those experiences. But now, because of that, we've been able to see and learn from other events. We have Powerhouse Women coming in.
We do.
Into our studio doing a summit live.
Next week. And
this
is
women all over the world.
Worldwide summit. Yeah.
Global.
She has watch parties happening in Africa, New Zealand, the UK. That's going to be really fun. Right.
And again, it connects us. Every time these sort of influencers come into our studio, we learn a little bit about what they're doing to reach their audience. We learn a bit about the customer. We learn about what they're doing to move the audience forward. And of course, we're solving a lot of the complexities and pains to be able to, still do and reach their audience.
Right.
We've done the corporate events coming up, and we'll talk about the best places to work multifamily in December. There's going to be a massive live broadcast celebration recognizing.
We'll get to that.
We're not going to get to it now?
Oh, right now?
Well, I mean,
I thought you had more.
It's really about, we're going to layer the experience into these.
No, I'm excited about
events.
it. I want to talk about it.
So I will shut that down right now.
No, I didn't. All right, we are live this Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen. So, all right, well, let's just talk about the best places to work. Listen, we're in the research phase. This is exciting for us.
That means the program's closed.
The program is closed. Registration is closed. If you're in, and you know it, and we are gathering the data. Well, we aren't.
We're doing the data.
Team is, gathering the data. And then in December, we're going to have the most amazing event yet.
It's going to be off the charts. I mean, it's
every team member, every employee, every associate from on-site, maintenance, corporate. I mean, every single person can tune in and be a part of the celebration. It's going to be a huge gala. We're going to have a keynote, music, everything. It's going to be
We'll
incredible.
Be benefiting a cause again. Not only can you recognize, but we'll get the community together behind impact in the industry, and these are the stories and ideas that the world needs to hear about how the multifamily industry shows up for the world that they influence. So that's exciting. Stick around with that.
I'm excited about it. We'll have more details.
Yeah, also our multifamily studios is growing. We are excited to, and we'll be announcing soon. It's a little bit of a tease, so stay tuned. If you're not subscribed to get notifications, go ahead and click on, if you're watching on multifamilystudios.com, you hit watch live or a live show, and then you'll be tuned in to this right on live.multifamilystudios.com. There's a button on the page that says get notified for upcoming shows. Make sure you are subscribed to that so we can legally send you an email, right? That's important. And so you don't want to miss out on what's coming next, because we're going to be re-envisioning the way you get information, you transform your business, you create wealth for yourself personally, professionally, and for the investors of which you manage. And all of those things are going to be on this weekly show free to you. So we're going to bring in the top experts around the world. We're re-envisioning how content is distributed in multifamily. And I can't be more excited about it because it's a platform for multiple touch points.
That's right.
Throughout the calendar year, because as much shift that has happened, even with COVID, we've accelerated what was going to happen anyway in probably 6 to 10 years into a few months.
Yeah.
So we were overwhelmed before this, and now think of it like binge-worthy content. You can tune in to us live. I want you to put on your calendar, mark your notes, get your teams together, whatever it is, but we're going to step up and deliver for you great speakers, great content, in that everything that we do on these shows or events or anything that we do, your life should improve. That's the end goal. That's the test that we do, is like the content we're producing, those that are tuning into it, will their life get better? Right. Personally, professionally, financially.
Right.
That's one of the key ingredients to what we're doing. So.
Hey, did you say hi to Kathy Arsenault? I don't know.
I did not see Kathy.
Yeah, Kathy, thanks for joining us this morning.
Happy Friday, Kathy.
Happy Friday. If you're just tuning in, my name is Carrie. This is my husband and co-host Patrick. We are coming to you live from Scottsdale. Listen, if there are things you're interested in hearing about, what topics you want to have us cover, we have a whole slew of experts in the pipeline and everything, but if there are things you are burning to know about, put them in the comments, let us know, and we will read those and do what we can to make that happen. Yes, and I will say, in the studio, we're talking about innovation, technology, leadership, and investments in multifamily. But if you're a multifamily vendor right now, maybe there's challenges with interacting with the world. Like you can't go to events, you're not able to do exhibiting, trade shows, things like that. And those of you that picked up the article that I wrote in 2019 Multifamily Innovation magazine, at the end of that magazine, there was an article that I wrote about the end of the trade show. So we were already planning to help brands introduce products in ways that are more modern, similar to how like Apple would introduce a product, or Google or Amazon would announce something. They don't wait for CES or a trade show to do something. They just say, hey, I have this new Tesla. It's this really interesting thing. And they create, they get everybody involved, and it's pretty much like a launch event. Well, in our studio, exhibitorhall.com, we have an entire stage for you that if you went to a trade show booth, it would cost you in hundreds of thousands of dollars, from a 13-foot video wall to all the sort of Apple Store demo areas, presentations, for you to drop into our studio with a plane ticket and a flash drive, record a pitch, record a product demo, and launch your product to the world. Exhibitorhall.com is where you can get involved and do that for your brand. And we're excited about that because, right now, as much as renters need relief, owners, investors need forbearance to keep operations in play, but vendors are the innovative ones. Right. Vendors, and I say suppliers, industry partners, really, a company is a company, and they need to be able to also access a marketplace, and we've created a tool for that. So excited about that. Especially with, like you said, the shift and everything. I think technologies are changing even faster, and they're the ones with the keys to the kingdom. They have the information, and they need to get it out because it can help. True. So. And outside our studio, we've expanded into our strategic marketing agency for multifamily. That's multifamilyclients.com. We've hired a team to help project manage and get you into this platform that we've created, so then you can weave your content in a way that actually is helping people before they become on our demo call, before they become a sales call. So what is it, 88% of people don't want to talk to a salesperson until they're ready to buy? Well, you've got to create that content, help them in advance, position that content in a way that elicits an emotional reaction, so then they can get a benefit, a victory in their world in some way. And that's what our agency will do. And so we'll be talking a little bit more about that in future episodes. But for now, thanks for being with us. We're excited to have you here. Yeah. Let's dive in to this eviction moratorium. Yes. So the CDC, and you've heard notices from our trade partners, trade associations, making statements around
you can't evict people, right? So from what I understand, temporary halt
through the end of the year.
Through the end of the year. And these are for non-payments, and there's some compliance and some sort of standards of proof that the residents have to hurdle through in order to qualify and get access to those things. But in the properties that we manage, we're working with our lenders to get some relief. And right now, you look at jobs, and the jobs report came out today on Wall Street Journal, and you're looking at what's happening to the customer's ability to pay. It was really bad, never seen before. I won't use the word unprecedented, promise. I will not do that. I know you've heard that word so many times, but the jobs went just berserk and never accelerated with that many people unemployed or not. And it's interesting when you look at what like other countries, even like Europe and other areas have done to even Japan to support businesses instead of people, and how that's impacted someone's ability to pay your rent. Because at the same time, what's the complaint right now is, and the pain is that owners still have to pay taxes, insurance, payroll, all these things, and there's no relief from utilities and these types of things. And some banks have given forbearance. Now, if you've structured your loan in such a way that it qualifies for forbearance, then that's great, and that's some relief, but some of those are coming due. So it's creating some agitation into what's new with investments, how is that going to happen? But I think that one thing that I would inspire you to do is, if you notice around the millions and millions of dollars that every management company is spending to basically fight the fight, legislative, political action, all those things, at some point, you got to go, is it working? Is it working? What is it? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over. And the frustrating part to me is I see people making statements. Presidents of trade associations, hey, that's a great statement. But what happens? What's the result? Like, we've got to personally not count. This is a movement for self-reliance. Companies, management companies, industry partners, you've got to work to protect and hold strong for your employees, your constituents, your customer base, your clients, all that stuff. Because if you're waiting on somebody to do something to give you some legislative relief, you might
be waiting a while.
I'm talking to investors that are calling governors,
leaving them voicemails.
So are you doing that? Have you written a letter to the president? Have you written a letter to your governor? Have you called them, left them a message? And if you haven't, then we're not doing the work. If you're waiting for your trade association to make some statement, it's like we're talking to ourselves, right? Like when you make the owner the victim, nobody cares about the owner. I just watched a movie the other day, and they're talking about rent increases and the big bag developer. You look at cartoons, and it's like the developer cleaned all the trees, and the movies have told the wrong story. So it's time for us to elicit emotion. Call your governor. Tell them how important your residents are. Tell them how generous you've been working with payment plans. Call the local media. Tell them the story's not right. You get involved, but don't wait for your trade partners and the committees and the committees and the committees. And, number one, it's not effective. Do you have an outcome? Is rent control on the rise? Yes or no? Right? Are these things happening? Yes or no? And you're spending millions, hundreds of millions of dollars. So when I was doing things, building, and even if I needed garages, we would hire people that understand how to message and communicate in the right ways to make sure that everybody's winning and creating victories together. But to say an owner's a victim, the world doesn't respond that way. So I think that we've got to take hard action to personally get involved with our own results. And that also means going to your lenders and saying, hey, you know what? We actually we want to give our residents some relief. If I'm owning, of course I want my customers. Some of these residents, I was in a restaurant the other day, and it was sad.
It's heartbreaking.
They were getting inspected because somebody came in and complained about, I don't know, the distancing.
The tables weren't quite 6 feet apart.
So here's a business owner, and his dog, well, I don't want to give out what it is, but basically, business owner is going in a restaurant, has half maybe a third of
Half
the
capacity.
customers, right? And has to spend all this other money to do these different things to stay in business. And then, is trying to, do homework with kids that are at school. And like, these are real people. Your residents are real people, and they probably do need relief towards the end of the year.
And it's so important, and I know you all are doing this because you all are awesome. But to be communicating that with your residents too, like, we hear you, we are on your side, this is what we're doing to make it better. We're calling the governor, we're writing letters, we're doing all these things,
Yeah, right now what I'm doing is we're doing a documentary, an episode as part of the America Rents documentary. We want to document what property owners are doing. What's it like when Sarah can't pay her rent? What is Sarah doing to pay her rent? Right. Well, she's trying to go to the property manager. The property manager is giving them some relief, and they've gone to this foundation and they've gone to that foundation, and really document that. So if you've got people, if you are doing incredible things for your residents, reach out to us. Let us know, because we can put story together to emotionally tell a better story. Look, this is not a problem that's going to get fixed right now. The agitation with an election year, all that stuff going on, it's going to get really messy and confusing. But right now, it's important that we stay strong and stay committed, because this is an opportunity for you to communicate better. You know what I'm saying? So if you remember back when the first part of March, when there was forbearances and said you don't have to pay your rent because the owner doesn't have to, because we've made them, the lenders have to forbear their payment. Well, that was only on certain loans. So it made certain management companies execute certain strategies to say, hey, listen, we understand you're going through tough times. The assistant manager became from a compliance and accounting person to an empathetic, empathy and understanding, and collecting rent from people that otherwise had not been problematic before. So the role shifted. It was the communication had to go to another level. This is a gift to you. This is a gift for us to get better as leaders, a gift to control the message. I understand this thing has been told that you can't collect or enforce rent collection, but that is a great stress test for your management company and your ability to raise capital. Listen, in a scenario where jobs are going down, people are really not moving, and I've been able to maintain this level of debt service coverage ratio, even when I can't even enforce collection. That's how good my management team is. That's how effective we are on making our customers understand the priority of housing being an essential need in the business. And again, and I don't want to go, I'm going off on a rant here, but another thing to do is, like, when we're looking at multifamily investments, guess what? This is a great opportunity, if you're in acquisitions, to start buying those properties and turning them around from companies that have over-leveraged, counted on external factors for their financial returns, and maybe didn't have the capital strength to technically wait it out. Now, I think about Disney, like, all those people not coming to Disneyland. Right. Well, they built Disney Plus. They were smart about things. They had Disney Plus that just went crazy, and so they're smart people over there, right? That have been around for a long time, and things will get back, and they will make it through. So that's the test. Like, this is you right now. You're being tested into communicate better with your employees. Also, when we're going into a deal, putting 40% down on a deal is great. You have more control, right? Maybe you should be able to operate at 85% occupancy, in a scenario like this. How do you lead in recessionary times? How do you structure deals in recessionary times? And this is a signal of what's coming out of this, is self-reliance. That don't wait for industry insiders to help you. Right. And if you look at the automotive industry, right? Industry insiders did not help the automotive industry, right? Elon Musk went out and was fought around how to even sell products into the automotive industry that actually saved the environment, was less on maintenance, took away the strategy of let's sell somebody something, give them incentives, lock them into long-term contracts in the intention of the dealer network, because we want to make money on the service. And whereas Tesla, like you open up the hood and you're like, where is the engine?
Where's the engine, right?
Do I change the oil? Well, you don't have that problem anymore. So you have an innovator actually improving the lives of the customer. So stay tuned to that customer. Help your customer. Help them prioritize and communicate and do these things. But you have more control. This is not a loss.
Listen, I'm going to jump in here real quick because we've got Sherry watching and tuning in, and she's saying, call your congressman, urge them to enact landlord assistance, rental assistance. Sherry is like the queen of all
smartest person I know. I mean, I get emails from her.
Rent control, affordable. Yeah. I mean, she just knows everything, and she is. I know that she is an activist, and she is really working to make change as well. So thank you so much, Sherry, for tuning in.
Yes, and what I will say too is what's important to this is look at it like marketing, right? You have a story to tell, and you have a conversion to make, and right now, facts, data, and information doesn't convert.
Right.
An emotionally unmoved buyer will not buy.
Right.
End of story. So that's why we've got to leave those voicemails. Overwhelm with individual. Not like I have this committee that sent a letter, right? Even on social media. Look at the committees on social media. They're not even using the platforms the right way.
Right.
You don't do like. Dear Mr. Anderson, comma, space, name, space, boom, and then sign as a social media post. That right there tells you you're not using the tools available to the world to make
to impact change.
So if you own a property, get on the phone, leave a voice message, and tell that governor, tell the president what you're doing to make the lives of the people renting your apartments better.
Yes.
And we've got to overwhelm them because they grew up watching these landlord stories.
I know. Well,
and landlords have,
watch any Hallmark movie, which I tend to do, and it's always the developers, the corporate,
I'll tell you, if you think about it though, even in our press releases, this is coming to me. So-and-so raised $70 million, right? It just, the message to the world is like, we've got a lot of money to do this thing. But they don't know how much money it takes.
That they're going to do with that money that they raise. Like, how many jobs are created, how many housing units are created, I mean, how many people are being helped in that community. Right. That should be the headline.
It's a story.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyway,
exactly. Well, let us know. Kathy had
a
question. What is Exhibitor?
exhibitorhall.com.
Yeah, exhibitorhall.com, but we'll do more on that later.
Yeah, and Gerardo, thank you for tuning in. So glad to have you here today. And Rhonda, happy Friday to you as well. So glad you guys are joining us today. That was good. I feel like do you have more?
I kind of got going.
That was good.
I didn't even look at my notes. I'm making sure I hit.
Did you hit all your points?
Yeah, this is a great, again, going back to leadership, our brand is all about, leadership, innovation, technology, and investments. And if you hit on those 4 points, you're going to do well.
Yep.
But you've got to be the leader that does things differently, because what got us here is not what's going to get us there. Not the world has shifted, we have shifted. And so it's exciting times.
Sure is.
All right, so where are we now on the show? We've got.
We're gonna highlight a little Chad Rubin right now. I think we're gonna take.
You guys want a little music?
Quick musical performance here from Chad Rubin, and we'll be right back after this.
Finding my way through the darkness, guided by beating hearts. Well, I don't know where this journey will end, but I know where to start. Say that I'm too young to understand. Say I'm caught up in my dreams. Well, life could pass me by if I don't open up my eyes. That's fine by me. So wake me up when it's all over, when I'm wiser and I'm older. Well, all this time I've been trying to find myself, but I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up when it's all over, over. When I'm wiser and I'm older. Well, all this time I've been trying to find myself, but I didn't know I was lost. Wish that I could carry the weight of the world, but I've only got 2 hands. One day I'd like to go and travel this world, yeah, but I ain't got any plans. I wish that I could stay forever this young, not afraid to close my eyes. See, life's a game, it's made for everyone. Love, it's that prize. So wake me up when it's all over. When I'm wiser and I'm older. And all this time, been trying to find myself. But see, now, I didn't know I was lost. So wake me up, ba-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you guys.
You know, and you just put on your favorite Spotify list or whatever it is you got going on in the car, and you can just tune it out and everything shifts.
Yes,
right?
And for those sports fans out there, the walk-up song, okay, I don't know if it gets the player moving or the fans.
I think it gets the fans, and then that pumps up the player. I don't know.
Yeah, but we definitely know that music is important. I'd love to know, what's your favorite song? What gets you going in the comments? Would love to hear from you with that.
Yeah, what are you guys listening to?
Yeah, so, but, you know, sound, I did some research on this. And you think about, like, when you go to Vegas, right? Just put yourself, imagine you're in Vegas, right? And you're walking through, there's music everywhere.
Everywhere.
And sometimes it's the sound of the slot machine maybe is... And there's not even quarters dropping anymore, by the way. You ever notice that?
No, but it still makes the sound.
It's the sound of it.
Yeah.
But it's not even happening.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, even sitcoms, there's the sound of the laugh track. It encourages you to laugh and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the sound environment can, and I've got this note here, the sound environment can affect human perception. And human perception can influence crowd behavior in both indoor and outdoor spaces. So as you design your amenities, and you're walking people around properties, or the residents are walking around properties. We were talking to someone building a new property, and they were talking about what they're doing with the parking garages.
Yes.
I mean, it's that.
How many movies?
How many movies show the parking garage as like a horror place?
It's dark and scary, like, and that's
someone comes and grabs
where the guy
you,
with the knife comes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
We build apartments because of the supply demand, like in these garages, deep down, right? And like that's the first impression somebody comes before they rent an apartment. So are using sound in these places to move a different emotion, because I'm telling you, the emotion they're getting probably is like, am I going to get mugged? Right?
Well, and that same company, I think it was Matrix, so they're pumping in fun, awesome music into their parking garages, and also painting murals along the walls. Because, like you said, it's dark and scary and gray, and if you're in Arizona, it's 1,000 degrees. So why not uplift that area too? I mean, and then you're setting the tone for any prospective resident that's coming in and using that parking garage. You're immediately setting the tone and making that shift in their mind for them to walk in to your leasing office or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah, and more studies have demonstrated environmental music affects the pace of shopping and the amount of time spent in shopping malls. So if you how many times you go into H&M, they've got the visual,
the video walls,
and the music. It's pumping, it activates activation.
I'm pretty sure they have disco balls too. Listen, you guys, I'm trying to convince Patrick here that we need a disco ball in this studio, and so if anyone wants to chime in on that,
we'll get one.
Listen, Sherry's listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love that. Hey, we got a comment here from Kim Sen Cross. Hi, Kim. She says, it's an opportunity to reevaluate and reinvent everything. People are more open to change than they used to be.
Ooh, very good point.
Very good point. It goes along with everything we've been talking about.
Yeah, if you've been waiting to do something, call Kim. She'll get you integrated.
She sure will.
Definitely a good point on that, because now's the time to just go, we're fixing it. We're gonna do it the way we've been talking about. I love what Jamin said. He's got Taylor Swift as an album. Honestly,
Jamin?
If you go on Netflix, the Reputation,
her concert,
it's more of the classics, or not classic, but it's like
it's my favorite.
It's Carrie's favorite, but really it's the daughter's favorite. And
it's my daughter's favorite.
When you crank it up with the bows,
it's awesome,
and it just moves everybody to. And then Sawyer's like, turn it off.
And, listen, Jamin, I'm right there with you. I was listening to Folklore on my way in this morning.
Yep. So hopefully we see Taylor in concert soon.
I know. Yeah. If not, we've got a stage, Taylor.
Yes, yes. We were actually close to working with her on a project that she would be performing in one of our events.
Okay.
Isn't that cool? So
moving on to
in that case, we'd have to fly him out.
Huh?
We'd have to fly him out.
Oh, Jamin?
Yeah, we'd have to fly him out.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So good stuff there. Anyway, going on, people, this is around the idea of music influencing and shifting behavior. I've used it to motivate teams. Just crank up the music. We have it on in our studio. Just to
before any live event, any big event, we have a certain playlist that we have cultivated, curated throughout the years of the songs that are...
Anybody that's tuning in, if you've been to one of our summits, you remember the music, comment below. I'd love to hear your impact there, because this is a gift Tony Robbins gave me. He says within the first 4 to 6 minutes of your event, sets the tone of the experience over the next 6 to 7 days.
And think about that. It doesn't even have to be an event. It could be, like you said, like a team meeting.
Yes.
It could be a family meeting. Who knows, It could be anything. It doesn't have to be a huge event. Just think about how quickly music can change the feeling and the mood in any room.
Yep. And so now that we've brought it to our attention, now you're going to start noticing, when you walk in your office or what music is playing.
Right.
There's also a gift. If you're on YouTube, I learned about this in a mastermind. And this was what a high performer leader does when they're going to show up for an audience when 100,000 people are going to go live. They want to make sure that their content, they have the focus and their brain waves are truly at peak performance. But if you go to YouTube and you search Mind Amend, MINDAMEND, Mind Amend, and you have a project, a budget, or an article you need to write, something that requires intense focus, this will change your productivity to it's 10 times easy. And put that on. You can be played underneath music. You can even play soft music.
You can even play like whatever you want to listen to and have that on.
It's these rhythmic tones that kind of activate your peak focus. And they've got some for really relaxation and peak focus.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you,
he has all different kinds.
It is amazing. I will warn you though, make sure you drink water, because it just dehydrates you somehow.
I don't know how it works.
You can get a headache if you don't, you know. But we've been using that as a great tool. It's been awesome to do that. But this other note here, in urban open spaces, you think about like in Las Vegas, in the Quad, or the new district, whatever, there's, you're walking down what's made to be like a main street.
Yes.
And there's simulated upstairs, downstairs. But music is part of that. But they said studies have found that people will pass by and stop to stand and watch music-related activities, right? And so these are why a lot of those, like in H&M, it's like the music, the dance.
Right.
I think of that Apple commercial back when they launched the iPod. It was green, the black silhouette and then just the ear.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Vaguely.
Yes, they're tapping into stuff here.
Well, think about babies. Little babies will dance and sing and clap their hands and stuff before they can even talk and walk. And they react to music like that. Yeah,
music can unite people. It's really awesome. So I will tell you, though, Carrie and I, we just started running. And music.
I will tell you what.
If I told you, let's go run a 5K every morning, you'd say, yeah, I'm out of that. Running has been punishment, for sports. So, but putting this in your ear, what's that like?
We discovered a new app. And the app has its own playlist.
What's it called, like Running or Running?
Running by Verve, V-E-R-V, I think. I love it. It's amazing. You put in your goals, you do fill out all the survey, and then it tells you what to do on each run. But the app has the built-in playlist for you, so you kind of pick whatever one you like. And then the faster you run, the faster the music goes. So it pumps you up to keep running faster. Because I think the reason this is so good, that and the fact that I didn't create that playlist. Because sometimes I will get in my own head and I'll be like, oh, why did I put this song on my playlist? And then your mood is like, oh, I don't want to run. I'm done.
Yes.
But somebody else made this playlist. It's for us, we listen to
they've engineered it in a way.
I won't even tell you what the playlist, like MC Hammer and Spice Girls, but
right.
It works.
Keeps you running.
It keeps you running. Maybe just because you want to be done faster, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it absolutely works and it keeps you motivated.
Yeah, it's a HIIT workout. So you go a minute, you walk and all that kind of stuff, but you wake up and you're like, wait a minute, I just ran a 5K.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's crazy. So studies have shown that people will listen to music, their emotions fluctuate, and the effect is to technically change their behavior. So I want to bring Chad in for this because our musical director, Chad Rubin, there he is. You've been doing some really great stuff, from scoring movies, obviously performing live on global audiences and things like that, but tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've seen music, being that you're a performer.
It's interesting to speak on exactly what you're talking about. You think of a score for a movie. That's put right there to charge up your emotions. When they want you to be scared, they're going to make you be scared. And that's going to be driven heavily by the music. It goes hand in hand with the visuals, but I feel like it's a great example of how our emotions really can be manipulated by music in such a positive way. And for the arts, sometimes in a way to get you tense or scared or really kind of all those moods. And it's such a powerful thing. It really just goes so deep. There's so much depth to it. It's
it's funny you talk about movies. Carrie and I laugh because we watch to study different cinematography and styles and how to move people into emotions, I guess, right? And we'll watch movies and they pull out the knife and it's like shing, and it's like.
Have you ever heard a knife actually make that noise?
It doesn't ever make that noise, right? Yeah. But it's like shing. Or you think about the Jaws music.
First note, I was just going to say, that first note from Jaws, right? My daughter, all she has to hear is that one note on a piano, and she's out. She's like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. This is too scary for me. It could be 8 o'clock in the morning. Every light is on. Everyone's home. She's like, nope, I'm leaving.
Hey, Chad, are the lower tones, what's involved really? So the higher tones?
There's absolutely a science to it. So there are doctors out there who study frequencies and use them for different healing techniques. It's a little above my pay grade. I couldn't speak on it as much, but I do know that it's powerful, and I know there are different, like you said, lower sounds will go a brighter, a major chord is uplifting, if you go to a minor, we're a little darker there, so little shifts and kind of tone for different things really set that mood.
That's cool.
Listen, here, I've got Debbie Nicholson says, music causes the brain to release dopamine, a chemical which creates motivation. Thanks for that, Debbie. That's awesome.
See?
And then Judy, my new best friend, Judy Shaw, says yes on the disco ball. So
yes?
Judy said yes.
All right, Judy, it's a yes. So how do we, are these, does it require power or just a light? Okay.
We just hang it.
We're not going to get into this.
We'll talk about that later. And Chad, you've done some interesting work with music, you mentioned healing, right?
Yeah. It's very powerful. I have a very close family friend who unfortunately at a younger age suffered a stroke, and we were working. He loved playing music, loved playing guitar, and I loved playing with him. And I know that the hardest thing on him was not being able to get back those cognitive skills that he had worked on his whole life. So we kind of took a few steps backwards, and we went back to songs from his childhood. You Are My Sunshine, songs that are just ingrained in us. You know, those kind of songs that come up even if you haven't heard them in decades. I know this, sing your top to bottom kind of thing. And so we started playing those songs, and each week it would have such a phenomenal impact on not only his playing and singing, but his reading, his writing, his just overall attitude was huge. He wanted to go into therapy. He wanted to work. Our nights sometimes went into late, 12:30 to 1 a.m. in the morning because he wanted to keep playing. And for me, that was so beautiful, and it inspired me. I'll hang out with you all night, bud. And it was just so great to see his progress and to think back on when we started and seeing him recently, actually, and being able to play music with him and where he's at today. Words can't describe how powerful it is. And coming from someone who obviously loves music during these tough times, being a fan of music has helped me in so many ways as well. So it's just
wow, so that's incredible.
It seems like a lot of the artists have a deeper appreciation, and even like you hear stories like that, and it's got to make you feel good. Like I'm doing more than just entertaining and reaching an audience and showcasing my talents, and you'll be able to actually move people into a new life experience. Let me shift it a little bit to more commercial, because you've been on large stages in local communities and abroad, and you've done some things with what in movies have been more like product placement. You've been asked to even while you're singing, introduce and integrate products and brands into your experience, right? I got to imagine that people find a lot of success with that.
Yeah, you know what? When I think about music, I think of community. Especially being born and raised in Arizona. I bounced around, but being back here and understanding and knowing the people in this community, it's such a strong sense of togetherness. So when we bring in brands, especially local brands that work with our music, and we're working with venues that are local, and everyone's kind of working together, it really gets the patrons going. It really does. They see that kind of teamwork, and they see we're excited to be working together, and maybe add a little swag to hand out here and there, a little fun stuff, keep it fun, and just have a good time. And that sense of community is it's such a cool, powerful thing. It really ties everything together.
Yeah, we're going to have to get you to sing some sponsor songs, like some jingles on like smart home stuff. Be cool with that. I think of the Lululemon store. They've got they bring in the DJ. They don't necessarily you can you're like a DJ. You can play all kinds of different songs and transitions and all these things. And that's why we've got you on the show. But like as a DJ, even just playing the already produced music in a moment where they come in, the shopping and
they've got
that mood.
They've got their tempos down. They know which tempos get people going, which keys get people. Ooh, I'm gonna shop. I'm feeling good. I'm looking good. It's a cool thing. It's great for everyone.
Yeah, that's really great.
Wow, is that why we spend so much money when we go to Lululemon?
I don't know. I don't know. So really good stuff there. Thanks for sharing that. And look, we are so excited to have you there because we're going to be doing some concerts for Multifamily and doing some things to impact the things that people care about in multifamily. So if you've got causes you want to let us know about, let us know that. We have certainly one that we're working on for our December event, and we'll be layering music into that experience, give you a fresh breath of inspiration to step away from just the transactional things. And music, like you said, community, it unites us, and it's just something that by the end of the year we'll have how many more weeks would we have before the end of the year to do these shows?
I don't do math.
I don't do math, at least without my iPhone. So listen, this has been a great time to share with you. We're glad that you had an opportunity to listen and to tune in to Chad Rubin Music, and we'll be more for next week, right?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us. We're just so glad to have you every week. We're so appreciative. Thanks for commenting and just engaging with us. We love to hear from you. Like Patrick said, reach out anytime we are available, and just tune in next week. We'll be back with more.
Yeah, give us a song request in the comments.
Yeah, there you go.
Next week, we'll play your song. All right, guys.
Thanks,
we'll see
everyone.
you in the next show.
Well, I heard fireworks floating the freeway, and the blind closed eyes, I can't make them go away, 'cause you were born on the 4th of July. Freedom rings, but something on the surface is stings. Something on the surface, well, it kinda makes me nervous to say that you deserve this. Yeah, what kind of guy would say that you would cure this dirty old disease? But if you got the poison, I got the remedy. The remedy is the experience. This is a strange enough liaison. I says the comedy is that it's serious. This is a strange enough new play on the world. I said the strategy is how you're gonna spend the rest of your nights with the lights on. But shine them light on all of your friends. Could have all amounts to nothing in the end. Ooh, I won't worry my life. Ooh, yeah, dance monkey. I said I won't, well I won't worry my life. Ooh, well, I heard two men talking on the radio in a crossfire style of a reality show. They was plotting out the ways of playing the next big attack. Figure out a way to stab a brother, and they'll be right back after this unavoidable kiss with a minty fresh breath that is sure to outlast this catastrophe. Come on, dance with me. 'Cause if you got the poison, I got the remedy. The remedy is the experience. This is a strange enough liaison. I says the comedy is that it's serious. This is a strange enough new play on the road. To shine the light on all of your friends. Get it all amounts to nothing in the end. I won't worry my life.